So recently, I've been hearing more talks about investing into the so called bad sets, such as Battle Styles and Shrouded Fable. And the reason why now all of a sudden people are talking about investing into these products is because everything else in each of these eras are way more expensive. For example, with Battle Styles, the booster box's market price are $135, and if you compare it to every other alternate art booster box, all of them now are above $190. So Battle Styles is cheapest by far. And then when you look at Shrouded Fable now is what, $35 in Elite Trainer Box? Everything else in Scarlet and Violet is way more expensive. So now people are talking about investing into these so called bad sets. Now, I've given my opinions about bad sets and investing into them. I never do it. And that brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is liquidity. Now, I've talked about this before. I think many people have mentioned this in this whole space because it's a so called problem, I guess, in the space that does get mentioned a lot is liquidity because this is a physical thing. It's not like a virtual, non physical, non tangible thing where you can click a button and sell it. It's not the same because if you're selling on eBay, you have to take photos, list it, then when someone buys it, you have to ship it, and depending on in the quantities you're actually selling the stuff, you may have to ship a ton of things. So it's a lot more work. You have to go to the post office. Like, it's a lot more work. Like, I don't think anyone can deny that doing this, sort of investing into physical things, it's more work than just clicking a button. It's not as easy as some people may think, especially when you're buying the more, I guess, bad products. And that's where liquidity becomes even more of an issue because, like I said, you have to actually do something. You can't just click a button. You have to sell this. And if you even think about selling in person, like on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, I'm telling you, like, it's already hard enough to sell some of these products. Trust me, I've tried to sell locally some things. It doesn't even really work out with some of the good stuff. Now imagine trying to sell a product that is not very popular. It just doesn't work out all the time. So I want to show you guys some data here to show you guys that, I get the plays being made because they're cheaper, it's low risk and all that. But to some extent, like, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure by buying not so popular products. And people always like to make the debate that look at, Rebel Clash, look at Crimson Invasion, they all went up. Yeah, they went up over time, and a lot of them, Crimson Invasion, it's what, 6, 7 years old now, it's hit a wall. Rebel Clash, same thing, it went to, low 200s, it's hit a wall for a whole year, and it's great on paper that these have gone up, and yes, people always make examples of these sets, but people don't talk about selling them, the liquidity of them. On paper, you guys have to realize this with all these products, no matter what they say on paper, what the market price is and how much they're worth, you have to sell it. Because especially with these, not so popular products, they're not very liquid at market price. If you want to move these, especially if you have large amounts, you're not going to move large amounts usually at market price because they're just not that popular. And I feel like this is very understated when people talk about investing into these so-called bad sets. Just because they're cheap, yeah, they'll go up, but can you sell them when they go up double the price? They're already not that liquid, at low prices. What makes you think that when they go higher, they're gonna be more liquid? Like, I'm trying to be reasonable here, and I understand a lot of people see a lot of potential in some of these, cheap sets because they're so cheaper than everything else. I get it, but you have to think about these other factors because when it comes time to sell and you've doubled your money, let's say Battle Styles, it's 135. Let's say, a lot of people bought them at $80, right? Even at $80, let's say you sell individual boxes at market price at 135. After all the fees and shipping, you're probably making maybe around, $30 for each booster box, which isn't that bad, but depending on how many you have, you're going to have to do a lot of shipping. So you have to kind of take things into account whether it's going to be worth it for you or not. And let's say you're thinking of investing in a Battle Styles as of now because people are talking about this. Let's say it's 135 right now. Let's say in some amount of time, we don't know when, right? It doubles to just say 250. Right now, Battle Styles is not very liquid. It's not very popular. And when it doubles in price, how many people are going to be willing or want to pay double the price it's at now for a Battle Styles booster box in the future? Probably not that many. So I want to show you guys some sales data for these products that are so-called bad and these investments that people are thinking about doing. I want to show you guys the sales data and show you guys that some of these things really are not that liquid. So Battle Styles. If you're selling individual boxes, they do sell pretty much every single day. You can see here, as of recording this, it is the 21st of December. So we scroll down, we can see here, people are buying these, and you can see, I'm just going to scroll down. A few get sold every single day. If I keep scrolling, you can see here there's a bunch of other things, but they do sell. Like, I'm not saying that individual boxes don't sell, but I know a lot of you guys out there are buying in case quantities because everybody always mentions that buying in case quantities, that it's going to be easier to ship and all these sorts of things. It's going to have a case premium, but with these bad sets, right, these not so popular sets, selling in quantities, selling in six, in quantities of six, a case quantity, it's so much harder and it's so much more illiquid with these worse products. And I'm going to show you that here with Battle Styles. So Battle Styles, they sell boxes almost every single day, right? Now we go to the cases. These are the sold listings for cases. So let's scroll down here. So the first one we see is an old listing from September. We see some recent ones here, December 14th, December 12th, and then December 9th. December 9th. But let's keep going down. And you'll see there are some spurts of sales, but it's pretty, separated out, you'll see here. So December 7th, and we see, keep scrolling. The next one, November 25th. Keep going. Next one, October 23rd, October 26th. Keep scrolling. October 3rd, September. So you can see here, like, they're not selling that much. And let's say you have cases of these. To move them at market price, if you're trying to get these at $135 and you're selling in case quantities, there's not going to be that many buyers. Already enough, you can see that only maybe 5 to 8 cases I just showed you sold within the past few months. So you got to take things into account, like, especially with the case thing. That's why sometimes, you can always open the case up, sell them individually, because I'm telling you, with these bad sets, you can get these cases for pretty cheap because they're just not moving. Like, you can buy cases for under market price per booster box because nobody wants them. So think about all these things when you invest into these bad sets, because especially in case quantities, they're not that liquid. So Shrouded Fable is a more popular one being talked about. More people are talking about Shrouded Fable than Battle Styles because some people do like Shrouded Fable. So this right now is going for around $40 market price, but you can find them a lot cheaper. Now I'm going to show you guys the sales data, and it's kind of surprising, I guess, how little people are buying these. Like, if you go onto TCG Player, look at the sales. Like, only a few get sold every single day, and this is only like $35. But going onto eBay to see the sales data, you can see same thing with the Battle Styles. Individually, they get sold every single day. It's not that surprising. Like, all these bad products, yeah, they sell every single day individually, but the same thing. People are buying case quantities, and a lot of you guys are. So I'm going to show you guys sales for case quantities. So since these are so cheap, people are buying them. So you are going to see more, recent history of people buying these, especially now people are talking about them. But you can see here, 330, and you can see the dates, 310, 350, and look at the dates. You see they are selling right now. But like I said, when these go more up in price, because $300 for a case of Elite Trainer boxes is super cheap. When they go up to $600, you got to think about, like I showed you with, Battle Styles. How many people are going to be willing to pay $600 for a Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer box case? Right now, it's a little bit too early to tell, but you can see here, even just from those past, few days they have sold. There's been, some big, I guess, differences between dates here that we can see here, cases being sold. Now, lastly, I want to give this example because everybody talks about Rebel Clash being the example of a bad set that's gone up. First of all, I've always said this, like, if you look at the yearly chart, it has done nothing the past year. If you've held all the way to this point, obviously it's like a waste of time because in a whole year it's done pretty much absolutely nothing. But if you go to sales data, same thing. Like, they do sell like every single day almost, you can say. Like here, December 19th. There are some differences in dates you can see. Like, it's not every single day, but almost every single day at least one sells, and you gotta think about that's one selling on the market on eBay. So if you're listing these at market price, it's possible that yours is not going to sell because there are going to be people selling for under market. So you can see here, not that many get sold every single day, but like at least one gets sold. But same thing, if you're buying in case quantities, which a lot of you are, and you want to sell it in case quantities, there's like almost no sales data. You can see one here recently did sell for on December 15th, which is about a week ago. But you keep scrolling down. One sold September 30th. You keep scrolling, and you will see it is very hard to find any sales data because there's none being sold because just Rebel Clash is not that popular of a set. So people are buying these singularly in boxes, right? Just individual boxes. But in case quantities, nobody's buying these. So this is just another thing to think about when investing into these physical things. It's already, like I said, a problem that people talk about with just, even the more popular sets. People talk about liquidity issues when they get more expensive. So these other products like Shrouded Fable, Battle Styles, while now it may seem like a good, play and investment because they are cheaper than other things, you have to think about the future when these are going to inevitably go up like everything else has. You got to think about, though, selling them. And when you guys are selling them, especially if you're trying to sell it in person, you're going to maybe have a rough time because some of these things just are very hard to move. And if you're buying in case quantities of these things and they do go up in price, not many people, as we can see here with the sales data, are really willing to buy cases of these so-called, bad products. It's just a thing, and it's something just to think about when you're making these plays. So hopefully you guys found this video informative, and you see that, these sets, they do go up, but you have to sell it to make money. So take that into account when you actually spend your money on these things. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.